So you have a friend that whenever they make jokes, they're just slightly, ever so slightly disrespectful. Whenever something nice happens to you, they're never clapping. They're never genuinely happy that good things are happening to you. I always have something to say. You always have this one friend that to everybody else, they're very disrespectful, but you being the non-confrontational type, you insist that it's not what it seems like, and you continue to brush it under the rug.
Fuck no, baby.
No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no.
Part of becoming an adult, part of embarking on a personal growth journey is flat out understanding when friendships no longer serve you, and understanding when to cut certain people off, and understanding that it's also okay to cut certain people off. Because something to think about, when we're younger, when we're in high school, when we're in school, when we're in elementary school, high school, when we're teenagers, friendships are a lot more simpler because they're based solely just off shared interests. You're thrown into an environment with a bunch of people with shared interests. Naturally, they become your friends, because at that current point in time, there's nothing else that your friendship needs to be based off of. But as you get older and as you transition more into adulthood, friendships start to become a little bit more complicated, and they start to become a little bit more intricate, because you also need to think about how friendships impact you and how friendships can hinder your success or aid your success, whether or not you're also mutually benefiting from said friendship. When you're younger, that's not necessarily a topic that matters, whether or not a friendship is mutually beneficial, because when you're younger, like I said, friendships are just based off of shared interests. If you have a bunch of friends that are not on shit, or are just not on the same timing that you're on, that is going to influence the way that you think, that is going to influence the way that you feel, especially if they're toxic, especially if they themselves don't have a growth mindset. It's going to influence you, it's going to infect you, and then you're going to adopt their personality. So if you decide, for example, you decide you want to start working out, but all your friends are like, nah man, I don't see the benefit to that. Working out is lame. Them saying that is going to affect how you feel about working out, and then you'll never eventually you'll think working out is stupid too. I've had real life discussions where I've told some of my friends that I want to move to a bigger city. I think it's time for me to level up. You know, I think it's time for me to embark, because I'm a city person. I've had friends that tell me I'm not built like that, I'm weird, I'll never make it in the city. Let me tell you something, I'm no longer friends with those people, because that comments like those didn't serve me. Comments that are designed innately to disrespect you and hinder you are not for you either. If you have a friend that your potential or your greatness threatens them, they feel threatened by that, they feel that your greatness is overshadowing them, that's not the friendship for you. If you have friendship where the friend is constantly using every opportunity to take shots at you, but they just say that they're joking, and that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's not the friendship for you. If you have friends that don't respect your boundaries, or friends that don't reciprocate the same type of energy, they're not mutually beneficial, that's not the friendship for you. Friendships should not leave you feeling drained. They should not leave you feeling doubtful. The older you get, the more that you learn that eventually the people that you want to pick around your circle and the people that you want to be friends with, you want a very tight knit group of people. You don't want people that are going to cause drama. You don't want people that you have to worry about whether or not they're rooting for you, because as life becomes more difficult and as you start rising up and things start to become more serious, you have bills to pay, you have a job to go to, you have to figure out how to secure a house, you basically have to figure out how to start your life. Petty drama I promise you, is not something that you're even going to care about, because life's going to become so difficult that you're going to value the relationships that bring you the most peace. And you're going to value relationships that if something were to happen to you, they're just as eager to help you out. For me, the biggest lesson that I've always had to learn is learning when to stop overextending myself in friendships, because I'm an individual that naturally I just like to see everybody win around me, and naturally I'm always trying to help people. I'm always trying to bring people with me. I'm always willing to lend a helping hand, and I'm always willing to do what I have to do to make sure you're winning. More often than not, that left me feeling really drained, because a lot of the times, even now, like to this day, I still had friendships. They're not my friends anymore, but I still had friends that were draining, that weren't willing to reciprocate. The relationship is left feeling one-sided, and then there's this resentment in and of yourself because you don't want to do any favors for that person. And then that's not a genuine friendship, when you're left feeling a sense of dread every time that person's name pops up on your phone. Because honestly, what are you friends for if that's the feeling that you get? Another thing that I had to learn, I myself am not a that likes confrontation. I don't like arguing with people. For me, I'm just a very nonchalant person, and I don't see the need to get into altercations if there's a peaceful way to resolve things. And also the other half of me is I just don't like confrontation. I'm in my soft boy era. I just don't like, that's just not for me. Why can't we just sit down and talk? Why we gotta fight? Why we gotta throw up the hands? Because I'm not a confrontational person. Whenever I would get people that, they're secretly dissing or they're secretly taking shots at me in the form of a joke, I would never call it out, because there was a version of me that didn't understand how to enforce boundaries, and I had to learn that. More effective ways to deal with it, especially for a non-confrontational person. I don't always want to have to go to the friendship and cause this big scene, why are you doing this? Because I honestly, on top of that, I just feel like it's a huge waste of time, arguments in and of itself. So I've learned, whenever I have these friends that they're not rooting for me, just to distance myself, put distance between me and that person, gradually start reeling back, because I've come to the realization that I'm no longer going to tolerate a person like that in my life. You have a person that is secretly waiting for you to fail. You could have friendships that the person is secretly praying every night, their prayers to watch you fail. You can't have people like that around you in your circle. It's detrimental to your success. My phone died. Yeah, as I was saying, having friends that aren't the right fit is inevitable. That's just a natural part of life. You can't get around it. There's a variety of people in this world, and that with a variety of people means a difference in personalities. It's inevitable. All right, with that being said, it doesn't mean that that's something that you have to tolerate. And I know a lot of us have allowed friendships that were toxic to persist a lot longer than we would have liked, a lot longer than we maybe would have had the confidence to end it. But you have to understand that if you're solely focused on your personal development journey, nothing else matters except leveling up, getting to that next level. Part of self-development is being selfish. So if you're feeling bad because you have friends that don't serve you, that friendship's no longer benefiting you, honestly, you just have to look at it in the mindset of nothing else matters right now if it's not assisting, if it's not helping the development, the betterment of the self. And that's just how you have to look at it. So don't be afraid to cut people off. Don't be afraid to distance yourself. You're not a bad person. It just means that you're putting yourself first. You're learning to embrace boundaries. That's part of being an adult. That's part of getting older. That's part of, like I said, embarking on the self-development journey. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more videos like it, like, comment, subscribe, join the community. I make videos around all topics surrounding personal growth and self-development. So if that sounds like something that interests you, tap into the community. And until next time.